Hi guys, Dr. Millie here, and this is pretty exciting because I am in my new co-working space, and it is in downtown Manhattan, and this is the new home of NetMed Coach. So this is where we're going to be running some of our virtual health club, and this is where I'm obviously going to be recording some of my mind, body, spirit readings for you. So today is the first time, so it's very exciting because I can see myself up on the screen. And so that is exciting. The only weird thing is that people can look in and see me, so that's weird. But like there's somebody totally watching right now, so that's very, very weird. But besides that, um, it's very cool. It's a very cool feature. I think that what I'm going to try to share instead of myself, though, is maybe the astrograph page. I don't know if you're familiar with astrograph. This is Henry, the small company, and his last name is escaping me right now, actually. But it basically just like shows you what's going on in terms of the astrology, general astrology for today, like the sun is in Taurus, the last quarter moon is in Capricorn, it enters Aquarius at 2:27 a.m. The moon is void, of course, which means that the moon is kind of hidden and might bring some bad or mysterious or dark energies with it. Like they say, good things don't happen when the moon is void, of course. And so we can look at that. And then we can also look at individual signs. It says the next Mercury retrograde. It tells you what's going on right now. A Libra full moon of transition and peace. That was on March 20th. That's a little bit dated. You can go back up to an Aries new moon. That was on April 5th. Also a little bit dated. First quarter moon, April 12th. And the most recent, a full moon of surprising and profound realization and healing, which was on April 19th. And so you can read their blogs. Oh, sorry, most recent is the April month of recovery. No, that's for the whole month. And so then you can read what's going on for the entire month of April. And you can also read, without having a membership, your own individual sign. So I'm a Pisces, so I could read what the bloggers, Henry Seltzer, that's his name, and then he generally has somebody guest writing. And so then they write what's going on with your sun sign. You can check out your sun sign. You can check out your rising sign. My rising sign's Cancer. So see which one you resonate most with. You can also get a membership where you can get your birth chart interpretations. But for birth chart interpretations, I tend to use Astrology because she provides some free, that's my health club. This is my health club replays page, actually. I really don't want you having access to that. So, sorry, this is not my coach. I was going to show you Astrolata. She allows you to interpret your birth chart calculator, which I do. But then she also gives you a free transits calendar if you're not familiar with Astrolata. And she allows you to just log in, and I've set my birthday already and all the time and the place, etc. You can see all the details. And then she tells you basically what transits are going on 2 days back, and then starting today, which is the 26th of April. I can see that I've got Mercury square Saturn right now. I can see I have Mercury trine Neptune, Jupiter trine the moon, Jupiter trine Venus, Jupiter square the sun. And if I think it's based on the intensity of the color, the boldness of the color, as to what is the strongest aspect for me right now. But I can see also tomorrow I've got 2 Venus transits. I've got Venus sextile Mars and Venus opposed Pluto. And those are lasting until, for a couple of days. And I've got some sun aspect. And so every aspect is measured by a different color. But I'm just going to show you, if I click on Jupiter trine moon, if you want to know what Jupiter trine moon means, then it will take you to the Jupiter trine natal moon chart, and you can see what the potential positives are: improved mood, sense of happiness and meaning, support from an improvement of relationships with family, forgiveness, emotional healing. And then I'll show you the negatives: emotional permissiveness, overly generous, being gullible. I am guilty of being like that. And that kind of tells you, your personal life, home and family become important during this transit. And so you can basically just see what's going on in your own life. And that also tells you maybe what other planets might be important to consider, because it's not just about that one transit, obviously. And then she does leave some room for comments below, which personally I don't find that feature very interesting. I find that it's actually kind of like confusing, but you can read what other people say about this transit for them or their story or something like that. So I guess that's okay. It's kind of how YouTube works. And then you can go down and see her courses. I've actually patterned my business, NatMed Coach, where we provide supervised self-care and health club. I've actually patterned it off of Astrology, because I find that the way she organizes her videos to be excellent. And so with NatMed Coach, we have a team of health coaches, naturopathic doctors, functional medicine practitioners, and you can log on to NatMed Coach and look at self-care webinars. Recently, we've got a whole series going on cannabimimetics, non-cannabis plants that mimic cannabinoids, so that if you either want to support the effect of CBD or CBD oil on your body, and you also want to know what other plants can help synergize that effect, or if you don't want to take CBD and you want to still experience some of the benefits of taking CBD, you can take that course for $50, which is a brilliant price, because Dr. Selassie is also honestly giving you so much great information. And so so basically, it's expert level self-care on CBD constituents and how to stimulate your endocannabinoid tone with Dr. Patricia Pimentel-Selassie. It's like taking a health coaching course, guys. Like, people pay hundreds, if not thousands of dollars for these, and we're offering it for as cheap as possible, because it's really geared towards you and how you function in your self-care. Now, doctors, health coaches are also joining the health club, because they're finding that they also need self-care for themselves, and also they want to experiment with offering wellness or understanding wellness within their practice. So we've also got a really amazing undervalued techniques in mental health, if you're interested in that. So just go on and see what you're interested in, because we also, this was one that I delivered, and we actually do a live meditation as well as a live emotional freedom technique on the call. I have a link there based on like why psychology is broken and what we can do to fix it. And the other thing I just want to show you on the self-care webinars page is that I've arranged it according to topics. So for instance, if you want to have a look at all of our functional medicine videos, then you can do that. You can just you can see that we have got oral allergy syndrome. Okay, virtual health club includes functional medicine, candida, BV, and mold, microbiome, gut health, road to good health is paved with good intestines, cancer in your diet, the art of aging gracefully with functional medicine practitioner Nina Yunovich. We've got another functional medicine nurse coach. Her name's Paula Loverick. She did hypertension essential and secondary, and that's actually a free talk. Understanding your lab work for weight loss, that's another one that Nina gave. So those would be considered our functional medicine. You can also look at our naturopathic medicine webinars. And so those would be the cannabimimetics. Everything that's done by the naturopathic doctors, either myself or Dr. Selassie, would be considered naturopathic medicine. And even heart disease myths and truths, which is done by Paula Loverick. I was on that talking quite a bit, so I put that there. Or if you want to see trauma, what videos we have on here that are related to trauma, then you can go on and look at intuition, your health, how to use the power of neuro coaching. That's more for business people who have businesses, but it's a way to reprogram your brain using the power of neuro coaching and neuroplasticity. Also, the clinical endocannabinoid deficiency, amazing talk by Dr. Patricia Pimentel-Selassie. So I just encourage you to check it out. We've also got a blog. And of course, we put up amazing information. Most recently, we've got the 5 best sleep supplements. Before that, we have how to reprogram your brain 6 ways. We've got the 10 best foods for your moods. We've got 5 healthiest kitchen basics. And so this is how, if you want to get rid of cravings, how to incorporate certain superfoods that will quench your sugar cravings, your fat cravings, and your salt cravings. And I promise you guys, if you incorporate these kitchen basics, and they are delicious, these are the essentials of a healthy kitchen, and they will do all of this to quench your sugar and fat cravings and help keep you full and satiated and also have a good mood. And so we've got 3 healthiest cold breakfast cereals, the benefits of taking CBD. So seriously, guys, we have an amazing website. And so I don't just want to talk about my website all day and other people's websites because I'm really giving a toot to Astrolata. I think she's absolutely amazing. As I mentioned, she's super inspired me, and I do not know her. I've just been following her on YouTube for a couple of years, and I haven't even really bought anything from her. I just take advantage of all of her free things, and I think she gives so much away for free, and she has such an amazing spirit. So, definitely do check her out. I have bought things because I've gotten readings from Trifon, one of her astrologers, and she also has a group of astrologers similar that I have a group of health coaches. So, as I said, I've really patterned my business around her. And what else was I showing you? Yeah, so right now I am in Convene, which is a luxurious co-working space in downtown Manhattan. It's right around the corner from the Trinity Church, and this is Nat Med Coach's new home. And I really want to talk about, I'm trying to decide what screen I'm going to settle on, but basically I really want to talk about the energies right now because I'm not really an astrologer, although I have studied astrology. I've been studying it for 20 years. I've studied it with Rick Levine, taken his Patreon courses. He read my chart. I mean, I really have been reading people's charts as well, not professionally, but I do read people's charts. And I follow the Leo King. He's another person who's super energetic and just awesome, entertaining, and super profound in his knowledge of history and astrology. And so he's amazing too. So, I mean, he's somebody that I do actually have been paying for his app to get his daily messages and his weekly messages. But then you can also join him on Deep Astrology on Facebook, which is free and live on Tuesday nights. If you can stay up, because he's in California and sometimes he goes on late. So with all of this information, I think I can synthesize it for you because what I want to tell you about the intense energy that's been going on. Now, all sorts of transits have been going on. We've had Uranus cross the sun, and of course, we know Uranus is in Taurus now. It's here for the next 7 years. It was in Aries before that. In Taurus, Uranus is a very fast-moving planet of surprise. Taurus is a sign of stability and slow-moving. It's a fixed sign. It does not change. And Taurus is about beauty, and it's about finances, and it's about material wealth and accumulation. And so basically when Uranus enters, Uranus, the planet of shock and surprise, and you never know what you're going to get kind of thing, shaking things up, enters the sign of stability and beauty and money and material resources and wealth accumulation, then we are going to have a shakeup in financial systems. And so because Uranus just went into Taurus over the past month, or month and a half, it's at the very beginning of this transit. And that is a time when we're going to feel it the most. So if you've been feeling a lot of surprise, if you've been feeling like there's been lots of different things going on in your money or different things going on in your finances. And of course, this also does matter as to where Uranus is in your natal chart. And of course, Uranus has also been having conjunctions with and aspects with different planets. So it's not just the fact that it went into Taurus. And so it's not a matter of knowing specifically how it's going to affect you, but you might know how it's going to affect you, especially if you use some of these astrology tools that I've shown you. And if you kind of look at the themes. Now, the other thing that is going on right now is karma. Karma is changing hands. So if you believe in lifetimes, if you believe in past lives, if you believe you've experienced and lived out a history of lives and you've mastered certain aspects of life, that then generally that goes along with karma, that karma comes to a point where it's ending. And so there's a huge, what they call the shift or the event, or people are calling it different things, happening in the astrology sky, which is affecting us all right now. It's going to happen on January of 2020, and that is when Pluto and Saturn, these are two outer planets, malefic planets, kind of, malefic, bad, but it's not that they're bad. It's just that they rule. For instance, Pluto rules the underworld, it rules transformation. But in order to transform, in order to become the phoenix rising from the ashes, in order to become the enlightened parts of Scorpio, then you have to go through the depths of despair. You have to go through all of that personal understanding of pain in order to make a change, right? We have to reach rock bottom in some way before we're willing to make a change. So we've got Pluto, and Pluto is going to conjunct exactly, which means that they're crossing the exact same point in the sky. Saturn. Saturn is what they call the taskmaster. Taskmaster. He's the father of the zodiac. He's the rule maker, and he scolds us and schools us on how to follow systems and how to use systems properly. And so what happened over this past weekend, if any of you felt intensity around April 19th, 20th, 21st, well, one thing happened on April 21st is that on Monday, Uranus went across the sun. And so Uranus, a lot of people were acting very, had abrupt endings to things or abrupt change that maybe you didn't even realize was expected. But I know also a lot of people were experiencing anxiety, depression, deep thoughts, internal thoughts, and also maybe the urge to go back to what feels safe, what feels comfortable. And this is kind of where karma comes in, because karma in this, and there's been a stellium in Capricorn between Pluto and Saturn, and also the South Node is there. And the South Node also rules karma. It rules our past lives. It rules what we've brought into this lifetime with us and what we're excellent at getting our own way, excellent at relying on maybe the quick fix because we know we can get something that way. So whether that's relationships or money, but it might not be the best thing that's going to serve your ultimate purpose, right? It's like if you have to take a job in order to just like make rent, even though, and you continue to have to do that, even though you know it's not your true calling, this is karma. And you might find that there's sudden changes in this, like you cannot do that job anymore, or if you're always going back to the same relationship pattern, or if you're always going back to the same person, even though you know you've outgrown that person, you know you've outgrown that relationship style. This could be like serial monogamy. This could be like continuing to get married and divorce, or married and divorce, or it just could be like continuing to kind of dishonor yourself by being with people who are just absolutely wrong for you, or seeking out temporary comforts in relationships, or sex, in order to kind of get instant gratification, but not what you really seek in the long term. And so all of that, guys, it's time to flush all that down the toilet. And it does come with pain, and it does come with changing structures, and it does not come quickly. And so what we've seen over the past kind of weeks is that this has all been highlighted in a lot of people's lives, and this will continue to be highlighted. However, right now, Pluto and Saturn are starting to go into retrograde, which means they're starting to get profiled even more in our lives. However, they are going to be moving apart from each other as opposed to moving closely, which is why, even though this past weekend gave us a taste of what's going to happen in January 2020, it's not going to continue to peak in that intense way. It's going to allow us to go back over our relationships, to go back over the way that we treat ourselves, to go back over our goals, to go back over the ways that we earn money, to go back over the ways that we communicate, how we introspect, how we think about ourselves. I was talking to a friend of mine last night, and she was kind of like, oh, I wonder what my karma is. And she was saying that, she thinks her karma is going back into relationships. Once she's gotten out of a relationship, she goes back into a relationship that she knows is not really right for her, to kind of soothe her pain. And then the other thing she was saying was that she also compares herself to her parents. She compares all relationships she has to what her parents have, because her parents have been married 50 years. Now, even though she identifies that she doesn't necessarily want the kind of relationship or need to have that specific kind of relationship that her parents have, she's always comparing herself. And so therefore, it's kind of holding her back, her vision of what relationships is. And this kind of came to a head this past weekend. She's been thinking about it a lot. I mean, she's been mentioning this a lot to me when we go walking around Prospect Park, and she's been mentioning that to me. Whereas me personally, I rely on trauma. I rely on a place of victimization. I am always seeking out where I've been victimized, if I've been victimized, if I've been taken advantage of, if somebody's treating me wrong, if I've been abused in that situation. And so obviously, like, my history is in being a victim, and I came into this lifetime kind of victimized in different ways, oppressed in different ways, held back. I mean, I am a Cancer rising, and also Saturn conjuncts my ascension. So I am very restricted in my expression of love, even though I'm a very, nurturing and loving person. I was very restricted probably for the first 30 years of my life. Now, at some point, it's about our mindset and about our mind programming. And we need to be able to reprogram ourselves so that we're not, and this just also happens naturally after the first Saturn returns, like after we turn 20, 30 years old is what they say. And then after the second Saturn returns, we move further away from how we were raised, whether we were raised well or whether we were raised not well. Now, I was raised well, but I was raised in my father had PTSD, so he was traumatized. And so I was raised in a family of trauma, and there was recurring trauma and repeating trauma. And I became more aware of this. And so I became fixated maybe on this. And maybe this is also, my mission in life to be a naturopathic doctor. Or is it, right? Like, is being a naturopathic doctor simply an extension of how I have organized my life, how I've dealt with people in my life, the relationships I had with my father, or my formative relationships in my family, what role I played. And then, which is not to say that I'm not a healer. I know I am, but my life does seem to be changing in a way that's unknown to me as I move more into the realm of internet and online and doing virtual health club and doing YouTube, albeit inconsistently. Versus, being in patient practice, which I also enjoy. It's just that that seems to be moving away from me as opposed to towards me. So I do love offering consults. I'm certainly offering consults. I'm also offering phone consults and telemedicine. And definitely as part of Virtual Health Club, we offer concierge programs, and you get to see me and you get to see one of the health coaches. And this can happen in person if you're in New York, or if you can travel to New York, or this can happen virtually. And I would love for you to be a member of Virtual Health Club. We have so much amazing content. We have such excellent, qualified coaches, guides, doctors. It really is supervised self-care. And we're talking mind, body, spirit. I'm always talking about mind, body, spirit, because it's always about you tuning in to what's happened in your life, becoming mindful of that, becoming aware of that, so that we can make changes in our behavior, so that we can strive for more. Because we want to move towards the North Node. We don't want to, now it's not about chasing the North Node. We don't want to chase our destiny. We can't chase our future, but we do need to move away and break karmic cycles enough. And in doing that, there's a certain awareness needed in order, I think, to effectively do that. Otherwise, we're kind of just unconsciously living our lives. But so as we do that consciously and move more towards the North Node, which is our destiny over our life, then we also do get to benefit from the skills, from the expertise we have that we brought forth from our South Node. And so, guys, you can learn about what your North Node is, what planet your North Node is in, and what planet your South Node is in. The transits on South Node currently is in Capricorn. It's forming the stellium. And if the South Node's in Capricorn, it means the North Node's in Cancer. And so that's what's happening right now. And that's the configuration that lasts for a couple of years, and then it will move on again. The last time it was in Sagittarius and Leo, and so it'll move in the opposite direction away from that. So you're asking me to figure out what it will move to. It'll move into Aquarius in the South Node, and what's that? Gemini. Gemini and Libra. It was Gemini and Sagittarius before, and then now it's going to move to Leo in the North Node and Aquarius in the South Node. So find out where your South and North Node are, so that you kind of can understand what's going on in your karma cycle. And just be aware of that. Like, just interpret that and use that as a way to figure out how to be healthy for yourself, because there's such a drive to panic right now, because the energy is, as the Leo King says, in the extreme position, like every day. There's hardly ever any days these days where we do not experience extreme energy. And as humans, we're always reacting to that. So we need to figure out a way to kind of like calm ourselves down from the moment to moment, enjoy ourselves, focus on your work, but also be introspective. And this coming weekend is an excellent time to just be spiritual and to be introspective and to meditate, to go for walks, to enjoy the weather, to enjoy your life, and not to rush or push towards too many things. I mean, if you need to get something done, if you need to, that's fine. But it's not about like making things happen super quick right now. It's not a race right now. It's these outer planets are really guiding us, and these are very slow moving planets. Very slow moving planets, which means, and also, as I mentioned, Uranus and Taurus, and it's like there's going to be change, and you got to expect unexpected, but it's not something that's going to like be happening like result in something major. It's kind of going to take 7 years for all these systems to change. Now, a lot's going to happen in the meantime, but it's not, the energies right now are not, even though they might feel urgent to you, that's kind of your old brain patterning and how we have to calm ourselves down and just like stop and smell the roses, because otherwise time will pass too quickly as we're like being ping-ponging back from like little event to little event to little inconsequential event, as opposed to grounding ourselves in our long-term vision, in enjoying our relationships and building our relationships and building our work in a slow, effective way, and strategically, putting one block on top of another block on top of another block on top of another block, right? I mean, we all have those days where we feel like we're in a race against time and there's not enough hours, but it's kind of about sitting back right now and just like you can kind of let all that noise happen in front of you, but you don't have to like dart and follow it and respond to everything, because then you just like burn yourself out. So it probably is a high probability for burnout right now. People are probably also seeking adrenaline rushes, whether that's through coffee or through bungee jumping or jumping out of a plane, or just like feeling like doing extreme things to kind of match that energy. Because people who don't have if you don't have the healthy ability to kind of calm yourself down, if you don't have those coping mechanisms, then you kind of just like follow the energy and like feel like doing something more extreme. And that's not, that's kind of like the opposite. Like that's what we might call like, Leo King calls it like doubling down. It's like you're just going to double down on what you've been doing. It's like, no, you want to change your positioning so that you look at things with a different set of eyes, let's say. And when you do that, when you change your perspective, then you start to see how people who are responding, they're hyper reactive or they're super anxious, or you kind of start to see what a waste of time and energy that is, because it takes so much energy to get anxious over this and anxious over that, anxious over that. And it's all our own personal responsibility. Now, I'm not saying it's always easy. Sometimes we're in a pattern of anxiety and overreaction. But if you are in that pattern of overreaction and anxiety, then you have to kind of like hold yourself like you're a baby, like you're a 4-year-old, like you're a little tiny puppy. Hold yourself and just soothe yourself, because there's nothing productive that's going to come out of talking faster, moving faster, overreacting to this thing, not sleeping, boozing it up. Now, I'm not saying that you shouldn't, if you want to jump out of a plane, you need a rush or something, then maybe that is a productive way. I don't know. You have to determine what's productive for yourself. But you also want to keep in mind that it's a time to change habitual activity. So that just doesn't mean like, oh, signing up for like a new, trip to the Mount Everest or something, like maybe, but maybe it's just a matter of like taking a different route to work, or changing up your breakfast, having oatmeal or having protein at breakfast, or, not having that cigarette, or not having that pastry. It's like, could be something very easier. It's just like unwinding with a bath at the end of the day. You could also look to what used to help you that you've forgotten about, or that you have let slide for various reasons, because you're too busy, or because you got too distracted, or you just forgot about that thing that really helped you. And you can like reincorporate that, but restylize it. bring it back to life in a way that suits you now, not in a way that suited you 10, 25 years ago, but in a way that suits you now, or look for replacements for that, like what would touch you, nourish you, calm you now. So I think that's it, guys. So it is a weekend to enjoy, and even go deeper. Like you're challenged to go deeper into yourself, but into your psyche in a therapeutic way. So I love binaural beats. YouTube is a great place for binaural beats. I think they are so soothing, hypnotic, therapeutic, maybe even healing. You can try out different frequencies and people who produce binaural beats. I can't think of any channel off the bat. Off the top of my head, I generally just kind of like go through to see what is promoted for what I'm looking for. Like if you want to improve your immune system, or if you want to improve deepen your sleep, or if you want to, take lucid dreaming or whatever. So you can look for specific things. If you want to lower your blood pressure, you can look for specific things. But it's about engaging in a practice that helps you. It's not about doing what I tell you to do specifically. It's about finding your own answers and your own solutions. And I'm certainly here to help you, because I read the research, I practice everything on myself, I recommend things for my patients, they do it, they give me feedback, and I've been doing this for 20 years. So I'm definitely here to help you with any questions on naturopathic medicine. If you have nutrition questions, absolutely. If you have nutrition astrology questions, I can help you. I can look at your chart. You can book a session with me. Doing that, I'll put the link below. If you want to check out our health club, please do. You can try out your first month for 20% off. So Super 20, it's only $59 a month anyways, and you get unlimited access to all of our videos with our doctors, our functional medicine practitioners, our health coach, nutrition coaches, demo coaches. We're always doing fun stuff. And then you get to watch unlimited replays for 30 days of each video. We also have pre-recorded exclusives, which we send out on supplement regulation. Our favorite supplements, we've partnered with different supplement companies, and primarily Nutrimetrics, though, and Transition Lifestyle Solutions. We also partner with Modus Cosmetics and Lumiere de Vie Skincare. So these are all kind of like healthy but luxurious and highly effective and well-absorbed lines of products that we partner with. So you get discounts off of those as a member of Health Club. Any archived webinars. So if you'd like something, like if you wanted to consume the CBD, we've done 4 out of 6 in a 6-part. We've done 4 in a 6-part series. So you can get those for 50% off as a Health Club member. And currently, actually, there's one that's up there live that you can you can watch as part of, for free as a member. So I hope you take advantage of that, guys. I would love to see you on Virtual Health Club. It's an amazing deal. I want to supervise self-care for all of you, because I really believe self-care is primary care, and this is the way to the future. Yes, technology, we will use it. We will, everything that happens with stem cell, if it gets approved, or if it's good for us, we will see how that all goes, and maybe we can just like beam ourselves healed, and that's great too. But there's a slow way, there's a scientific way, there's a folklore, historic way to be our best selves, both all mind, body, and spirit. And I hope to help you, each and every one of you, in what you need, whether it's weight loss, blood sugar, blood pressure, cholesterol, understanding how the body works, memory enhancement, athletic performance, muscle building, genetics. So we've got Your Genes and Metabolism is coming up on Sunday. I'm running that live. That's at 3 p.m. Eastern time. So you can purchase entrance into that webinar for $20. Or if you become a member of Health Club, then you will be sent the link automatically, and you can tune in either live or to the replay. If you purchase the webinar, you can also tune into the replay, and for 30 days. And then you'll see what else we've got coming up: urban gardening, more CBD, gut health equals mental health, where serotonin is made. So I definitely hope you check us out. Otherwise, we'll see you next time on YouTube. Love you guys. Bye.